So very often when I make videos, people will comment and say, well, I mean, what's the plan then? And some people mean it because they don't want me to talk and they don't want me to say critical things. And so they say, well, what's your plan? What do you, and some people are like legitimately like, yo, what should we do? Either way, I don't think it's the right question. I do not think black people, particularly descendants of slavery in America, need to engage in any plan right now. I don't think any plan will actually help us because we haven't agreed on the goals. I grew up in church and there's a scripture like, how can two people walk together unless they agree on, the direction? That makes sense. We can't be successful on anything. We can't get to any destination unless we actually agree on where we're going. And for me, I keep insisting the goal has to be challenging white dominance. Don't tell me about black unemployment. Tell me about all the jobs that black people do not control and that black people control no industries to employ ourselves. We live under white dominance. Don't tell me about school systems failing children that we don't control, that are not designed for our children. We live under like every aspect of our lives. If you are a parent, your child's life outcomes depends on white people liking them. Quite literally. Whether it be going through school, getting a job, like we don't control or own anything. And we've never been allowed to. It's not because we're bad people or dumb or lazy. We have quite literally not been allowed to own or control anything. The issue is white dominance. And so you can talk about love and you can talk about diversity and everything else, but that little diversity program could get scrapped if you live under white dominance, as we're seeing. So until we agree on the goals, there's no plan that really needs to be pursued. And in fact, our institutions need to be asked this question. Is that the goal? And so instead of boycotting Target, maybe we should start boycotting black institutions and black organizations to figure out, do you have the right goals in mind? Maybe we should be asking, do you subscribe that the goal should be to challenge white dominance? And if black organizations can't answer that as their goal, then we don't need to participate and we don't need to fund them. It's really that simple. Black institutions, black organizations need to answer this question. Is your goal challenging white dominance? And if it's not, then really whatever money I send you is a waste. I need to find somewhere else to send it. Let's just cut the fat. Let's cut through the stuff that doesn't help and is unnecessary. If there is a black organization that cannot say that is the goal, then we don't need to mess with it. Now, in fairness to a lot of those organizations, because black people won't commit to funding them, many of them feel like they have to appeal to white dollars. And that is our fault, and we need to take accountability for that. That's on us. But before we send that dollar, let's ask the question and get a direct answer. So when your goal is to challenge white dominance, you move differently. You don't just say, let's protest and boycott so that people will sort of act right. Again, the civil rights movement, that was one of the flaws. They would protest, they would boycott until white people said, okay, you can come sit down, we'll be a little bit nicer. But they didn't want to challenge white dominance. That was not the goal. They agreed that we can let white dominance stand as long as we have access. And where has that led us? And so we need to look at this more critically, because when you want to challenge white dominance, when you boycott, you say, look, we don't control any industries. Let's strategically target an industry that we want to take over. We're going to boycott that, invest in ourselves, and take over this industry so that we can control this industry. That is a boycott worth having. It is not worthwhile to put that much energy and that much inconvenience into boycotting when at the end of the boycott, you own and control nothing. So if you look at my podcast, episode 8 of the Blackjack podcast, there's a whole episode on that, dynamic boycott led by Hosea Williams in Savannah, Georgia. It tells that story. Please check it out. There's a limitation to boycotting if you don't have the end goal of we need to control something. So don't ask me to send to your organization. Don't ask me to participate. If that is not the goal, if that's not what we're doing, it's a bridge that really leads to nowhere.